to the 1971 Lincoln High School 50th reunion. I am so glad you all made the effort to come and hopefully share the memories that we had in our early childhood all the way through high school. Some of those guys, they remember when I had a full head of hair. Some of the women remember you before you start dyeing your hair. You can share those memories of when you took your father's car without his permission, the crushes that you had on various people throughout high school. But for me, I know I met somebody that knew me in high school by calling me Danny. You know, you get to our age, it's now Daniel. Even my last name has been changed. I don't go by Co anymore, I go by Coach. So when someone says, Danny Co, I get that warm feeling of, they knew me when I was a kid. And that's a special feeling. When I get together with some of my friends, one of the things, and Brian mentioned it just today, is we were in 3rd grade together at Ewing Park Elementary School. Are there any women in here that had Miss Brooks for 3rd grade? Well, good. You can tell me, because what I and my other friends remember about Miss Brooks is she was hot and beautiful. We, as 8-year-old boys, were in love with Miss Brooks. And I don't know if she just started teaching right out of college and she was like a 22-year-old co-ed, or if she was in her 30s, but for us, she was the most beautiful woman we ever met up to that age. Can you tell me, was Miss Brooks, do you remember Miss Brooks? Miss Brooks, do you know how old she was when you had her?
She must have been 22, 23.
What's that? Okay. Well, those are the special moments. It might be stupid, but you can share with other people. I would like to offer 3 toasts tonight. And the first toast is for those people who put the time and the effort, not only once, but reunion after reunion, getting us together. And some of us think, everybody does that. Not really. My wife, who went to high school in Pittsburgh, she's never had a reunion. People never had an interest in coming back or putting it together. Brian and I are staying at a bed and breakfast at Chapel Hill. Chapel Valley. And the owners were saying, in Ellwood, a lot of people come back to the reunions. Not so much the other high schools in this area. So whatever we have in Ellwood, we have something special, but we have special people that help us do that. What I would is, Rinny and Denny's on it here. There you are. Hey, I'm going to call out some people, and at the end, if I forget someone, and those of you who work so hard, please, add their names to the end of the list. But Reedy and Denny, I think they were the ones who got our first reunion going. And
that's on the committee.
Okay, but they kind of got the ball going. So a special thanks to them. And these are some of the men and women who have served on committees time after time. If you just raise your hand, please, if I call your name out. Lauren Kubo. Thank you. Arlene Pagliano. Ollie Pratt. Darla Weller-Hay. Thank you. Betty Guerra. Mary Alice Cuban Dregler. And Mary Alice is one of those, she's sort of our researcher, tracking where people have moved, people that passed away, unfortunately, during our time. So a special thank you to her. We also have, in remembrance of Don and John Katrushi, who are no longer here. But but for this reunion, I'd like them, these people, to please come up. Lydia Valonga. Lydia. George Solberg. Thank you, George. And Carol Laszlo Kent. She was the one who put on last night's festivities. Just one more round of applause. Is there anybody else who forgot?
They knew who they are.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. And one person I would like to thank is Ricky Wade. She reached out to me in a text message just saying, hey, Dan, this is what you got to do. And I appreciate it so much. All right. That's sort of my first toast. I have a second toast. And those are the people that are in this room, but you're not in class of 1971. You are a wife, a husband, a partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a very good friend of being here when you didn't have to. And you sort of enrich our experience, and I'm sure you enrich the experience of the person who brought you. So thank you for coming out. All right. This is the reason they gave me the mic. They give a toast to our class this evening. And to do that, this is for all of you, the ones who walked out of Lincoln High School in the spring of 1971. And, you know, 50 years, that's a long time. You look in the mirror and go, God, you know, I don't look the way I feel, but a lot of memories have gone through us. And people ask me, you know, about the reunion. And I tell my friends, who always seem to be younger than me now, but I say, you know, if you keep going to your class reunions, when you go to the first one or the second one, everybody's sort of checking themselves out of how successful you've been, what kind of job you have, those type of materialistic things. And I say, if you keep going, nobody cares about those things anymore. They just are glad to see you there. You know. So, and that's the way I feel. But all of us, I think together, have, in the last 50 years, we remember what it's like to have been falling in love and the heartache of falling out of love, the joy of being married and the heartbreak of getting divorced, the wonder of the birth of a child, and the despair of death that happens in our lives. But we have survived. You know, we're here because we have survived. And I heard a country western singer say on the radio, he said, you know, my life wasn't perfect, but it's been good. And I hope we can share that feeling that, you know, through our 50 years of leaving high school, our life was not perfect, but it was good. And here's my toast to our class. If you would take your glasses and join me in this toast to celebrate with me. But my toast it's in two parts. The first one is, life is short. Let's dance while we can. Toast to all of you. So, without further ado, take 30.
Thank you. I didn't even pay him for that. That was great. Thanks, Danny. And for those of you who don't know, Danny spent 20 years in the Navy in service, so I'd like to give a round of applause.
Yes.
For everyone in our class who served in the country. You're the reason we're free to be here this evening. So, thank you, Lieutenant Diane. Me and Lieutenant Dan are like peas and carrots. Here we are, folks. We made it this far. So, please, everybody just give yourself a round of applause for being here. I know it's not easy to come to these events. People start to think, do I really want to be there? You know, will I remember anybody? Will anybody remember me? Do I remember what I had for breakfast this morning? You know, it gets a bit trepidatious, and for those of you who had a hard time in English class, trepidatious means fearful or apprehensive. But you made it. Everyone made it. Everyone really looks good. Of course, it helps that they dim the lights and our eyesight starting to go. I know what you're thinking when you look at me. It's like, how can anybody look this good 50 years out of high school? Here it is. It's a gift. It's a gift. A little bit of house cleaning right off the bat, and that's to make sure you go out and sign the banner when we take a break. Hold on to your tickets for the drawings. And by the way, make sure you mark on your tickets if you've had a body part replaced, like a hip or a knee or some dental implants, because we really got some special prizes for you. Lydia did a great job. We got some his and her bedpans. We got an oxygen tent. And a year's stay at St. Barnabas Retirement Home, which is great because I hear they have a large. You know, we're all getting a little bit older now. Has anybody had to take a visit to the doctor? What, just me? The questions get harder as we move along. I had to go to the doctor last week, and he liked to take tests. He wanted a blood test, he wanted a urine test, he wanted a stool test, and he wanted a sperm test. So I gave him my underwear. Everything, I know. Everything came out fine, but I haven't got the underwear back yet. All right, enough of this old stuff in here. Let's talk about when, back in the day, huh? Hamburger platter at Woolworth's, 55 cents. And remember, you could get a sauce bun at Johnny's Pizza. I don't even know how much it cost. It was probably less than, how much? 25 cents, a sauce bun. I was a bun with sauce on it. How unique. You know, and if you tried to go in Johnny's, it was packed. So you literally couldn't squeeze yourself in there. If you brought a date, you was lost in the crowd. But at least you could afford a date back then, and it was easier back then. And in college, you know, to go out. If you had a date now, it'd be like, ugh. But I remember I dated this one girl in college, and she had one boob that was way bigger than the other boob. And she was unique. She came first and third in a wet t-shirt contest. Some of the top movies were Dirty Harry, The French Connection, and The Last Picture Show. I wasn't in any of these, so they couldn't have been that good. The price of a new home, $25,000, a little over $25,000. Now, I paid more than that for my motorcycle. And I know what some of you are saying. You, Dave Pettit, drive a motorcycle? It's like, yep. And the reason I do is because no one pisses with you when you're on a motorcycle. If somebody does, I just pull up beside him and I have the black helmet, black mat, and I pull the visor up and I go, you talking to me? Are you talking to me? I don't see anybody else you're talking to. You must be talking to me. Then I pull the visor down and drive away, and they think, I'm not messing with that guy, he's nuts. And the cops never pull over a motorcycle. Okay. Whose parents had their furniture covered in plastic? So when you would sit down, you would hear, just like made fart sounds. But that wasn't my favorite thing. My pet peeve was the wax fruit and the rubber grapes that were in a bowl on the dining room table or the kitchen table. And what was that all about? What was that for? I would ask my mom, were we expecting like mannequins over for dinner? What's that for? We're getting ready to eat in a few minutes in here, so make sure that you have, your drink, your beverage, hopefully an adult beverage. Wine, I don't drink wine, I don't like wine. I really don't know anything about wine. People know, open it up, let it breathe, what year, where it's from. One time someone came up to me and they asked me, they said, do you like Chardonnay? And I said, well, she was my favorite stripper. You know, guys, I honestly didn't know if I was going to be able to pull this off tonight. Some of you already know my wife, Audrey, passed away a short while ago. For those of you who had a chance to meet or to know Audrey, the first thing you would say was she was just strikingly beautiful, and she was. And she was as kind and just as soft-spoken as she was gorgeous. So only God knows why she picked me, ended up with someone like me. For those of you who've lost a spouse, you know how hard that hits. It just literally rocks you to the floor. So I really didn't know about tonight. I literally would walk around the house in a daze going, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? What should I do? And I heard her one day look down and say, Dave, you gotta do this. Go up, talk to your classmates, have some fun with them. Make them laugh like you did with me all of those years, other than the fact that you heard me joke 50 times. Or when the grandkids come along. Because when the grandkids come along, we don't even count anymore. So, thanks, Audrey, for giving me the strength and courage to be up here tonight. And I want to thank all of you for being here on this very special occasion. We all have more years behind us than we have ahead of us now. So, as we go on, I truly wish each and every one of you the very best in life, and God bless all of you. And, as for me, I'll be okay, but I am proud and honored to be your friend and your classmate. That's my time, folks.